And we're back. Second try, second randomizer. Last time we got the dwarf and we won. So pretty much happy with whatever other than dwarf. And we got a Ronin, which I just enjoy a lot. So let's see what we can do here. If we can do some damage. Huh. Interesting. I don't think this piece has any significance for him. And I do quite enjoy getting a belt, but also the belt got nerfed. In the past, it would have give you a chance to get a potion and also potions from other characters, which could be quite game breaking. Now it would just be 3 luck basically, so I'm thinking of just re-rolling and we get a really strong item. So we got some good shield defense. We have, of course, no cleanse, which is going to be probably a big problem against characters like Shana or Buzz. But for the time being, I think this axe is just going to propel us with so much damage that opponents can't keep up. Very happy to get a sword. Swords can upgrade, which I really enjoy this change that they made. In the past, you were a lot more luck dependent, and nowadays you're basically much more free in your not your decision making, but you're more free in the paths that you choose, since you have more opportunities to get the different upgrade paths. See a dwarf. Dwarves always have very little damage in the early game, and if they don't have a item that strengthens them over time, they are mostly fodder. So let's see. I do quite like this, even early. Like normally I would like to stay away from freezing, especially in the early game, because it's just marginally like worse. The less items you slow, the less impact it's gonna have. But with items like these, like Ronin is a long-term fighter. He wants to pull out the fights as long into the length as possible. He has stripping power on his blades. Now this is really curious. I'm thinking, definitely thinking I should get both. I think this is just too much. But getting 2 of these. In the past, I used to love just stacking the Knight's Razor and not upgrading them more because they had less mana investment, less stamina investment. These days they changed it a little bit, so I think it's actually worth to pursue the upgrade path to Excalibur. Yeah, but the axe was always just a stopgap, and having another sword is going to serve us more in the long run. So I'm very happy to replace that. And now we got the Frostbite Ring, and we already have a Frost piece. This could be very interesting. The Power Stone also very strong, but I think it's better with like a dagger kind of build or pet build. So I'm actually quite happy picking this dagger up. Adding it to our growing dagger collection. Then we can probably do it like this, put you here. And got the classic apple and banana combination. I feel like the apple, they really buffed it a lot. Although they actually changed it again. Like a few patches ago, it gave you recovery, and that was just broken. Like an apple should not give you recovery as well. So we're definitely looking for pets. I'm most interested in bats, since bats have just great synergy. Now this is interesting, an ethereal cloak, but I don't think it's really necessary. We're looking for is mostly cleanse at this point. This is interesting. And of course, as we're looking for the good armor pieces that Ronan himself has, like exactly this kind of Knight's Aegis. I feel like the Knight's Aegis can just win you fights on its own. But yeah, pets and daggers now come at a premium. And this is also a premium piece. And I am willing to sell my bleeding dagger chance for this. The skull cap, thorns, decent, especially now that it hits ranged always. But most importantly, I'm looking for stun reduction and crit reduction. Because we want to fight long fights, we don't want to fight short fights. So it's very, very important for us to not be stunned or critted. That is going to be the only thing that's going to really get us. And then, of course, we're looking for more pieces that can frost, like a frost dagger, for example. It would be interesting to go for the frost barrier, but it's quite unlikely that we get there. And I think the frost dagger is a great new item that they added. Especially now that we have the frostbite ring, we're gonna buy every frostbite emblem anyway, so we want to lean into frost as fast as possible. Now looks like this is a very underdeveloped Chana. Let's see. I haven't played Ronin in a while since I have him on max level, so I've focused in my just private time to attack other people. If we gain armor, then weapons gain. Yeah, I think just weapons rag is what we should go for here. More attacks, and here's a very cheap little pet. And I still would like to have something triggering. But it's difficult to put something that triggers inside the bag. I think the warrior backpack is still one of the strongest ones. Probably one of the stronger backpacks of all the classes. This is a little bit cleanse. Better than nothing. Like now we have a little bit of steel. We have a lot of removal of buffs, which of course is gonna weaken our opponent's long game. But still most important to get some reliable cleanse. Here, I think we should not overstretch our stamina requirements. I still desperately want the Knight's Aegis. The big shield is just a crazy upgrade for us. And armor kit, I don't think we need. That the armor kit is armor, or counts as armor, is a real big blessing for a lot of the armor synergies that this character's special item have, or the special items in general have. But since we have a weapon synergy, I don't think it's really necessary. And now we have our first upgrade. Should always upgrade our bags when we are ahead. And I like a little bit of pet insurance, which has been nerfed. In the past it was much better, but it can also infect. Actually, I also really like the new cursed flower, because it gives you something that not many characters have access to, which is the healing debuff. The only problem is that you have lower item quality in the shop, so you have to pay a lot for the access. And since we're scraping off every debuff Our opponent is also going to be a buff stealer here, so I think this is going to be a difficult one to beat. He's a little bit ahead of us in the armor game and in the stealing game, but wow, this is crazy. Always the worst part is upgrading this in a way that you still have most of your items in your inventory. Let's move things around a bit. Difficult. Let's get another cheap piece of cleansing, since we can't really use the... Yeah, I think this gotta be... Well, actually we could just do flat out switch here and swap around these for the second. I'm not really happy, but so I'm supposed I cannot really be made happy here in this situation. Yeah, I think I'm never gonna be 100% satisfied. I would say probably somewhere like this is the best for the time, and then let's hope we win this, and then after the fusion we should have a lot less problems. The tooth is a big cheat item. My god, I hate this tooth. I feel like this tooth is just a win button. Like, it's so big and so clunky, so they basically have to make it so strong to justify that it's taking so much backspace. And then you just get crushed. And it never feels great. Perfect. Stamina is exactly what we need now. And we need all the backspace that we can get. So we're gonna rebuild a little bit and see what we can do. So we have our shield thing. We should definitely change the positioning a little bit. I guess I would do it like this. This way now we have all the slots taken, and most importantly our important weapons are triggering as much as possible. Put our insurances here. Let's get this piece. Add this here. Yeah, I think this should be good. Have they ever added anything to this? I don't think so. But yeah, it's just gonna block a lot of hits. This is always going to be a problem. You can't win long fights against this crit character because of their weapons. They're just going to grow stronger and stronger. So we might have to start to get worried here. I'm thinking of just adding this razor. Yeah, I think now some invincibility can't hurt. But what I'm really looking for here is... Actually, I want this maybe next turn. This is on sale. So let's get it on sale. Spices also has become quite strong. They buffed that item a lot. But I'm starting to worry here. It's not looking too great, if I'm honest. We've been stagnating a little bit when it comes to our growth. Like, we got the big shield, but we don't really have anything that that can scale off the time that the shield buys us. And we still need to have 4 wins, which that's not easy. 4 wins is quite a lot of wins. Let's see, do we need stamina? Do we need a fish for mana? I don't think anything here really uses mana. We also don't really have much space. This is the piece that we need. Let's sell the cactuses, I guess. Would be best served there, but we want the Excalibur. Okay. Okay, lots of bleeding again. Our cleanse is still our biggest weak spot. But now we have a lot more scaling. And now we also have a big problem when it comes to backspace. So we have to see how we solve that. But let's first go on a little shopping trip. Another one of those, so we could have even a second Excalibur. But first let's find out how we can solve the more pressing issue of how we're going to solve our backspace problem. I think we have to say goodbye to the melon. That is just a fairy tale now that we can use the melon. Maybe we save this for next round. This definitely want the other one too. Put you here so you trigger. Put these there so they trigger. The flame, the cacti. And now I'm just asking myself if maybe it's worth it to sell some stuff for even more succulents. I think stamina is not really the issue, so let's dip harder into that. Our opponent also freezing, and they're cleansing way better than we do. So now we're kind of dependent on what we can steal, but yeah, that's exactly what I've been afraid of. Last life, 3 opponents left, but we have 2 Excaliburs going for us, so that is our biggest advantage. We did not want to go on this path. I also kind of don't, I'm really clueless at this point. I gotta be honest. Kind of clueless on how to solve the issues that this build is having. We have a lot of power. We have a lot of late game. So I don't really see why we're not crushing it more. This could be the salvation piece. This, of course, Frost Cleaver also very interesting with the Frostbite ring, but I think we can't really afford to sell our two big Excalibur. Would be kind of fun. I hate it so much on Excalibur if they already would crush our chances to win. But yeah, we'll see. Still would really like some bats maybe to just increase our max health. But stamina does not seem to be the issue. That was a pretty clean and easy win. Just hope we're dodging the Shanas. So I think the crown is just going to be just a flat upgrade. And giving some crit to our items is also going to be great. That would be a good investment, I think. The only problem is, how do we get the backspace to actually make use of it? Is this this is a great possibility, actually. This way it triggers everything. And then I could do this. Probably say goodbye to this apple. I think that's a little bit far-fetched at this point. Some more speed is great. So I'm thinking of speeding up the crown and speeding up our frost dagger. I think those are quite powerful. We could also consider speeding up the Excalibur and maybe the crown. But I don't think that's really necessary. I think getting a lot of power on the Frostbite ring should be more powerful. And let's replace this last cactus as well. Let's hope. Still have 2 wins to go. Yeah, our stamina is definitely struggling a bit more, which was to be expected. Now this we love. We have another one of her as an end boss, which is kind of curious now. I think we still should keep our burning water for some game. We could also try and put in another scarab instead. I mean, it could technically on a crit infect it with also frost. I'm thinking of just leaving it as it is now and looking for like maybe a holy sphere. Now here we have a big mana payoff, which I think can be greater. The sigil. The sigil could also be crazy. Like if we put the sigil here, it would gain us a lot of power, since these items are going to give us quite a bit of power. So I'm thinking this should be a better path. And then let's just sell this. Maybe we get a sale. We don't, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, I think this is the best we can do. Basically, we start with a lot of strength already, so our hits should be really hard. And we made it. Thank the heavens, we got another 15. Although Ronin is not the hardest one to do a 15 on. But my god, yeah. Let's see. I think they also crit pretty hard, huh? Yeah, the items did a number on us. But our offense was just stronger than their defense. We look at their shadow armor. They probably dodged a lot of attacks too. Did they? How many did I miss? I didn't even miss, so the dodging didn't come in. That's all our good cleansings help. We got away with that. And of course, look at all our buffs. Just crazy. Stealing is always just evil. So that's the second one done. We got the dwarf done. We got Ronin done. So let's see. We're going to our little, this is probably a better view. So with the dwarf and the Ronin done, it's now going to be more likely that we're going to hit one of those again. So next random, I really hope, of course, we get a new character. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.